Okay.
So the white nationalists, the white separatists, the pro-whites, the white advocates, whatever they call themselves, they're basing their thing mostly on race. And, that's all great and well, but if you have an all-white country, there is still going to be division, there's still going to be different groups of people that are going to have conflict, right? But when you take it one step further and you actually embrace a system of government, a system of society, of community, of culture that embraces unity and a vision of moving forward. Once you can do that, then you get rid of so much more of the conflict and division within society. Even if you had an all-white democratic nation, democracy is very divisive. You have the different parties, you have the entire political system, which is bought out by, vested interests, it's bought out by banks, corporations, all of the people, and their idea and their whole goal is to divide the people. If you have a fascist country, and we believe fascism is the next step for America.
So even within the Nazi party, they never really referred to themselves as fascist. They referred to themselves as National Socialists.
There is a difference between fascism and national.
The thing is, one of my favorite. May I interject? The thing is, one of my quotes, and this wasn't even a fascist leader, but he was a severe nationalist, Muammar Gaddafi, who I've read the Green Book, which essentially that is a fascist document. And Muammar Gaddafi said that democracy will not work in the fact that when you have 51% of people suddenly decide to kill the other 49%, then how are you going to be able to live with that? You need a certain order, you need a certain set of rules. And yes, people within a country should have a say. But also I believe, for example, in elites, not a literal caste system as they have in India, but I do believe, for example, that a doctor should be able to say more about my health care, and it shouldn't be put to a vote. That experts should decide certain things, and not just
you look at all the politicians, right? Are they professionals? Politicians, they aren't doctors, they aren't scientists, they aren't, even military leaders anymore. They're professional politicians. And what does a politician know? What is he a professional at? He's a professional at politics, at the political game. And what he knows how to do is take power and hold it. He does not know how to institute change. He does not know how to get the best will of the people through the system. And the thing is, especially with the term limits and all those things, you end up with politicians who are only out for themselves and they're only trying to get to the next election. You have the entire nation, right? And all the democratic groups. All the parties, their vision of the future is confined to the next election cycle. They don't have a vision for the future. They don't have a vision of national unity. They don't have a vision of, this is our nation, this is our identity, we're going to preserve it, we're going to take it forward. They don't have that. And that is why there's, the more things change, the more they stay the same in America. It doesn't even matter that Trump is president. It wouldn't matter if Hillary Clinton were president, really, because it's the same people in power and it's the same systems, it's the same institutions. And what you really need is you need someone to not go through the system, because, groups like us, we admit we can't win an election because there's just not enough white people in America anymore. And that's a tragic thing. But what we need to do is we need to go around the system. We need to create our communities, we need to create networks of like-minded individuals, and we need to create people that know that who they are and they can unite with each other. There's so much individualism and materialism in America. There's no community. Even people who, say that they're going to prepare for a potential downfall of society, what do? They stock up guns and canned foods and they sit in their house alone. They don't get with a community, and people are so atomized by today's society. You even have the system of capital. People, look at us funny when we criticize capitalism. It's just as much as fault as other systems, because it treats people to not think of community and not think of identity and not think of culture. You're living, your personal lifestyle is confined to the next paycheck you're going to get. It's confined to what you're going to buy at the store tomorrow. It's confined to the advertisements you see on TV. What it's not confined to, what you don't even think about, is you don't think about statues like that. You don't think about people from your history that held their beliefs and their virtues at expense, right? And people say, oh, well, America was never fascist. You're right, it never was. But if you bring back people like Houston, like Washington, Jefferson, Andrew Jackson even, if you bring them back and you show them the state of America, and you show them what they believe and which groups they would side in, who they would pick, it would be a lot closer to us than it would be to those people over there. And everybody knows it, because America is a white nation, and having that identity is incredibly important. And we're not going to surrender it just because people say that, oh, you can't wave your flags around here. They confronted us. They said, oh, these are Confederate flags. These are racist, and we don't want people to think we're racist, Well, so much power comes from saying that I don't care if I'm called a racist, because I'm not going to let their terms define what I am. I know what I believe. I know what's right, and my sense of truth is not confined to the slurs that the enemy throws at me.